This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.
Hi, everybody. Welcome.
Hi.
Welcome to the March Commission on Disability meeting. We just have some here for public speak, so we have to handle that first. Let's see, who's missing? I know Jeff Brown's, would he be missing? Do you see Bryce there at all? He might.
No, he's not. He's not here.
Okay, so he's questionable. We'll see. And then we're missing Bruce. Is that it? I guess so. Okay, so public speak, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me here. So my name is Felicia Jadzak. I am one of the new city councilors here in Easthampton. So I wanted to come and just introduce myself. I am the Precinct 2 city councilor. I am also disabled, and so I'm hard of hearing. I wear hearing aids. Disability is part of my life experience. It's something that I am very passionate about supporting. And so I really just wanted to connect, introduce myself, and let you all know that I'm here to support or engage or help advocate in whatever ways that I can help. So I don't know if I'll be able to stay the whole meeting today, but just wanted to come and introduce myself. So thanks so much for having me here.
Thank you.
Precinct 2.
Yes.
That's who's
I'm sorry.
Precinct 2. I'm trying to track. Who was the last council?
So the last counselor who I replaced was Omar Gomez.
Yes.
Okay.
Very pleased to meet you.
Thank you. Likewise.
Okay, so the minutes, did anybody have, wait, do we even have a quorum? 2, 3, 4? No.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't think we have a
No, so
quorum.
we can't vote on minutes. We'll leave that to the end of the meeting in case somebody else shows up. So we'll go right ahead with Pamela. You said you had to go first, correct?
That's correct. So
Okay.
my name is Pamela Young. I am the Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion for the town of Amherst and the staff liaison and now ex officio member of our new commission on persons with disability. So for many years, Amherst has had a disability access and advisory committee. The town council voted to accept the state statute to change the status of that committee to a commission, and the commission will formally meet with their first meeting in April. So we received this invitation from Angelique to join you. I know one of the things that you are interested in finding out about were about the accessible playgrounds, and I think Paul is going to address that issue, but I'm just here to join you to say greetings and to answer any questions you may have. Another member of the commission, Cody Rooney, may join. I think Angelique was going to send him a Google Meet invite, so he might appear on screen at some point. Yes.
I'm Louise Jacob. I'm an Easthampton resident. And you're from Amherst, I think it is.
Right. I'm the staff liaison in Amherst, and I should have said a former Easthampton resident. I used to live on Cherry Street, but that's more than 20 years ago.
I'm a new and totally bewildered senior resident. At the moment, I think my newest tenant is working with somebody you might know, who's the, I think, a caseworker in Amherst.
Mm-hmm.
responsible for, I don't know what.
Is this involving disabilities in Amherst or?
Sorry. Um,
So,
my
yeah.
notes, but anyway,
Mhm.
how do, can't remember his name, but how do I reach you when I first get home? And I think it's going to be a very valuable.
Well, it's just online and I can send you the email address.
Mhm.
So Pamela, yeah, we just wanted to know kind of like what projects you were working on, how's it going over there in Amherst, and then we can connect with Paul because we just wanted to hear a little bit about your fun playgrounds since we're having some trouble with our playgrounds.
So I would say that the commission is very busy. Like your commission, we meet on a monthly basis. We're also meeting online. The primary role of the commission has been reviewing variances for the Mass Architectural Access Board. So anytime there's a new construction in town and that new construction needs a variance, then they're required by law to notify the commission as well as other service agencies. And I will say that we have a very knowledgeable board around solutions and advice around architectural access. So that's one of their primary roles. They've also been very active in just looking at sidewalks and access in town. You know, Amherst has a number of new roundabouts. They have worked with DPW to have rapid flash beacons at a number of different locations. So, you know, I would say there are strong advocates for persons with disability around a number of different issues. 2 years ago, they joined the commission in Northampton, which has reached out to both our commission and your commission for a 3-part series that they'd like to do in July for Disability Pride Month. So we have an active, a fairly active board around a variety of different issues.
And are these just people that just so happen to volunteer? Because you just said that they know a lot of information. It's just coincidental?
Yeah. So for many years, we had an architect on the commission. Unfortunately, that person moved out of town, but the members of this board have been working around this issue, this area of subject matter for a number of years. So they know a lot. The other thing that I will say is that I've taken a number of courses through the Massachusetts Office on Disability. They do courses on both access and community programs. So there's a way to be trained even if you don't have an architect on your board. Our contact there is Jeff Dugan. He's been fantastic. When we've had issues come up here, we've invited him out and he's come and done some site visits. So they're a wonderful resource as well.
That's awesome. Stan, go ahead.
When you said that reviewing variances is required by law, is that a local law or a state law?
It's a state law. It's through the
Okay.
Massachusetts Architectural Access Board. I mean, get MAAB. Get the name right. Yeah.
Okay. I just was curious whether we could make that request as well if it is a state law.
Right.
Yeah.
So I would be surprised that if you haven't been receiving requests for new construction. I mean, it may be that all the new construction in Easthampton is complying with the law, and so therefore you wouldn't get a request. But because we have a lot of old buildings and you do as well, often when there's construction or renovation, there are requests for a variance because something that the state law might require might be more difficult or more expensive for the builder or developer. So we see quite a few variance requests.
Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
I'll ask, to my knowledge, we have not heard of Easthampton is way behind you. Have we received, do we receive any variance requests?
No.
No.
So I would have my suggestion would be to contact the Mass Architectural Access Board and make sure that they have your contact information. Jeff Dugan, who actually sometimes sits on that board as an expert, would probably be very helpful in making sure that they have your contact information. I mean, it may be that all of the construction in Easthampton is meeting code, and so there wouldn't be a need for you to, to review a variance. But I would find that a little bit surprising, just given the age of the buildings there and if there is construction going on. Yeah.
And what does a variance look like exactly? Because if you need special lingo to understand it, then.
So I think Jeff would be very, very helpful in that, but I can give you 2 examples from last year. Amherst College is building and renovating a new student union on their campus. And the way in which the original design of the stairway to the second floor of the building, the best way for me to describe it is sort of like it was a grand sort of semicircle, right, with entrances on either side that sort of met at the top. And that required a variance just based on the number of steps, the depth of the steps, and the entrance, how the access would be made. And so they provided their plans. They came to meet with our commission. They explained their plans. And as I said, I'm lucky in that the members of this commission are very knowledgeable and they've been reviewing plans for a long time. They were able to ask questions and make suggestions about changes that they thought would be helpful. And our commission has members with a variety of disabilities. Some are physical, some are cognitive, some are visual. And so just that variety helps them to sort of ask, how would I access the second floor? What would it be for a person in a wheelchair? What if the person has low vision and has a guide dog? So those types of interactions, I think, have resulted in changes to designs where, sometimes our advice is taken, sometimes the developers have different ways of solving the problem, but they reach a solution generally that passes muster with the Massachusetts Access and Architectural Board. So, and I will say the I'm not an architect, but it is possible for a layman to sort of review the documents and have an understanding of the issues. And this is where I would say taking the training courses through the Massachusetts Office on Disability is really helpful. They're quite thorough in helping to explain a lot of common issues like depth of sinks and the angle of ramps, those sorts of information that will help you make determinations about whether a proposal, meets the standards or whether it might be more difficult.
So we have had people go to those trainings. They're not here. We have kind of a high turnover rate,
Mhm.
but I mean, they're all day. So
it's difficult. Yeah.
Disability, yeah, it's all hard to ever can retain that much information that's being thrown at you. So
yeah. I mean, I because this is part of my job, I've been able to devote the time to do them, and I have not gone into Boston. I've done them all online. But it is also possible, Jeff may resent me for saying this, but it is possible to get a representative from the Massachusetts Office on Disability to come out, and because I also think that it's really helpful to see and have someone walk you through a structure. We were able to have, because of issues that came up in town, we were able to have him come out for site visits, and I found that really helpful. So
Awesome.
Mhm.
Does anybody have questions for?
Just trying to figure out how what Pamela's saying can help or connect with anybody on the council who's interested.
The commission or the council on aging?
No, the bloody
The
Easthampton.
commission.
Yes, the
Okay.
Easthampton City Council,
Oh, city
Which
council.
is-
Okay.
close to useless at the moment. And I think I know 2 people on the,
I don't know if we're allowed to say that. Are we allowed to say that? That they're close to useless? I just don't want you to get kicked off by the mayor. So I don't know what we're allowed to say.
My understanding, you can say whatever.
Right.
Right,
No,
right,
I
yeah.
just
Yeah.
don't know.
I know it's not public speak, but I am on the city council, so if there are concerns, please let me know. Happy to work with you.
And I will, so I'll just say one thing, and then unfortunately I do have to jump off because I have another meeting that I need to prepare for. But one thing that has been really helpful in moving the work of our commission is that we do have a liaison from our town council. She doesn't attend every meeting, but she attends most of them. And so that also helps to elevate issues of concern that this group has.
Are they during or at night, your meeting?
Our meetings are during the day, and in some ways that is somewhat limiting because it means that almost all of the members, almost all are retired, right? But not all. There are a few who are not retired, and we meet generally during lunchtime, so that allows them to meet during the lunch hour. Typically, our meetings are on Tuesdays from 11:30 to 1. So I would just say you're welcome to reach out to me. Angelique has my contact information, or to reach out to our current chair, who is Myra Ross, and we're happy to answer any questions and to partner with you in this really important work. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Who wants to go next? I don't know if anybody has any time constrictions. Paul or do you guys have, Jason, do you have?
It's up to you. If you like, I could start. We weren't really clear on what information you were looking for.
You mean in terms of the playgrounds?
Yes, in terms of what you were looking for us, I could start giving you a kind of a background of the playground and how the process worked, how we got to the playground on the design aspects.
Yeah, we didn't have any we were just wanting to know about maybe tips and tricks for making an accessible playground, because we keep making new playgrounds and then somehow they're magically not accessible. So we get a lot of complaints. So yeah, just some tips and tricks, nothing too,
Okay. Well, I guess I'll do a quick background and then go into that. But so Kendrick Park is in just north of the center of Amherst, and we actually had a company come in and do a concept for the entire park. Within that concept was an area designated for the playground. So we were able to secure grant money to design the playground. And the whole design process involves, looking at the physical features of the site, the drainage, soils, sun and shade, grades, slopes, existing walkways, existing parking, lighting, safety, things like that. But we also worked with the other departments in town, the planning department and the accessibility board. Also, we had public meetings to get input on what the public was looking for within the playground. So we ended up generating a concept.
Oh, we lost you.
Oh, Paul, your audio cut out. Hear me, Paul? Hang on, we'll get his stuff back working. Paul, do you want me to show the original schematic design? Hang on, let me go see if we can get his working. Try it again, Paul. No, I think you're still muted. Well, not muted. I think the cord on his microphone is faulty. I apologize. Just come in here. Yeah. Hang on. We're just gonna share a camera. Sorry about that.
Okay.
So yeah, you have the concept.
Yeah. So you want the schematic one design?
Yeah, we can
That's
start with that.
the original.
So-
Okay.
So as I was saying, we did work with a designer to get a concept of the entire Kendrick Park, and within that was a small playground. Then we ended up talking to all the departments, the public, to try to find out what we needed to include in our design of the playground, and we came up with our own concept, which I was going to show you, but don't have the ability.
I can get to it. Can you guys see the schematic design that this was the Cecil Group's original plan? Okay. It grayed out on me, which is difficult to see, but this little area in the middle here was what was sort of called out as for a playground. So, and that's what we used to sort of get the grant to seed this little playground project. You know, if we had gone for the entire park, it would have been a phenomenal cost. But since we just did this little piece, it was sort of a bite-sized chunk that the grant awarding authorities would you know not run screaming from. So then let me see. I'm gonna turn this one off. You know where the other one is? Okay. Yeah. 13, 17. Second, I got to get this project opened.
Actually, while Jason's doing that, I just say when we developed our concept, we did have public meetings to find out what people were interested in, what type of equipment they were interested in. They were interested in sitting areas, plantings, lighting. So we made a kind of a priority list to try to include that in our design. We also met with a contractor, M.E. O'Brien, who works with different playground equipment companies. And they were actually able to provide us concepts of different equipment. They gave us actually a catalog to look through so we could pick out the equipment that we were interested in. They had a lot of accessible equipment, and we selected, actually it was a kind of a merry-go-round spinner that wheelchairs, it was at grade so that the wheelchairs could wheel into it and then it could spin around. So because of the small space, we were limited to the amount of equipment that we could fit in. So we tried to choose something that was interesting for different age groups. We actually had two structures for two different age groups in that playground. We also, throughout the process, we started off by looking at Jessica's Boundless Playground in Belchertown, which is I believe there's a website you can go and actually look at that. And that was built on a level surface and had a variety of different equipment for accessible equipment.
Right folder here.
Now, when you said the public came, like, like here, like, you don't know who you're gonna get, so how do you know they're not all able-bodied, or like, the other way around, how do you make sure that you're getting families with disabilities that are contributing their thoughts?
So part of that is going through our DAAC for approval. So we run concepts by them and they get to have input there, but then we just have general public hearings.
What's DAC?
That's like through the town council.
Okay.
And so it's usually announced on the town council's agenda. And if, you know, interested parties are paying enough attention, they'll attend those as well.
Yeah. Also, the planning department set up a lot of the public hearings,
right,
and would attend to find out what people were interested in. You can try that filter. It's kind of all spread out.
PDF plans. Sorry, we're just looking for the plans for the park.
Well, we learned, which I didn't realize, that there's a big difference between meeting ADA and then what's actually accessible.
Right. Yeah, definitely. So a lot of them don't really meet muster. But with Emmy O'Brien, they were actually very helpful in pointing out different structures that could be accessible. And they'll send you a catalog a month if you sign up for it.
And they also, when we met with them, they actually generated different layouts using different types of equipment. And they explained all the accessible equipment and which ones are more popular. And they gave us basically got it down to 3 designs for the equipment itself. And then we again decided which ones we thought would be the best for this park.
Have you had any complaints, or do you just get positive feedback?
We've had mostly all positive feedback from the entire park. We also did, you know, on top of the playground, we did some just nice accessible trails that sort of weave around the trees and through the park and have other little features that are like not necessarily store-bought equipment, but there's like a grass mound and there's like a small little granite seating area that sort of creates a mini amphitheater for kids to play on, and I don't know, a bunch of other features. Do you have
now is Groff Park accessible as well?
Groff Park has accessible elements to it also. That's not 100%. But yeah, it's got one large accessible playscape that is fully wheelchair accessible to the first level. Actually, the spray park's also completely accessible. I guess Groff Park there's one major piece of equipment that is fully accessible, and then everything else is, no, actually, now that I think of it, sorry, it's an older project. I'm trying to remember now, but we've got accessible swings. We've got an accessible play feature that you can wheel right up onto, and has a I don't know what to call it. It's kind of like a rocking boat that fits 3 or 4 people that you could easily that you could transfer from a chair into it relatively easy. So yeah, that's got a lot of accessible features, and it's, you know, right from the parking lot all the way up to the playground. That was actually the trickiest part, was to make sure the grades all worked, because it was on a steep the location between the parking lot and the playground had a lot of change in grade, but we were able to stretch it out and make it work with full ADA access. Sorry, Paul's just looking for one of the plans.
Yeah, I had it. I don't know, brought up on the computer.
Yeah, and the rubberized surface, those really go a long way towards making everything, you know, real easy and accessible. Any other treatments like wood chips or whatnot really don't end up helping out with accessibility.
Yeah, there are actually different types of surfaces that we looked into, and we ended up going with a poured in place rubber surface, which is you have options of color. It's actually gets put in thicker around the different equipment depending on the fall height, and all of this was determined by the company that was providing the playground structures.
And what kind of grant did you guys apply for?
Was this a park grant?
I believe so.
I think it was a park grant, and that's PARC, no K. And I don't remember what it stands for, unfortunately.
And so there's limitations, like this certain amount has to be accessible, and then
I mean, we just tried to provide a little bit of everything. So some of the equipment is, you know, for more for able-bodied kids, whereas the spinner is definitely dedicated. You know, well, the able-bodied kids love that more than most of the other stuff, anyways. But it's fully wheelchair accessible. You can just wheel right in, and it's off of the rubberized surface right into the spinner.
so the person that's missing from our meeting is the one that knows the most about. We just had a new school be built,
Yeah.
K through 8, and there's a lot of complaints about like the material they used on the ground and how divided they are, because it's 3 different playgrounds and
Right.
they're on complete opposite sides of buildings. And I know some people that made some complaints because able-bodied friends can't hang out on the disability equipment. Like it's just, they said a lot of it was upper body strength, like monkey bars, things like that. So
Right.
Just go to plan still. My computer.
can't find them.
You won't be able to hear me. But
Oh, Paul's going to try to share his screen, even though his volume isn't working. He's going to try to put a plan up on his screen, because I didn't have the plans queued up. He did on his computer.
That's okay. Perfect.
Lost vocal. Now we can, because they're spread out deep in our old files here, and it's kind of hard to find the right ones to display. I'm gonna step out and make sure he knows which button.
Julie, while we're waiting,
Okay, actually, can you guys hear me now?
this.
Yes. Okay. All right. So what I'll do is I'm going to put up
The MBS playgrounds,
And MBS.
MVS, the middle school, a new middle.
Oh, yeah.
Playgrounds,
How connected are these people?
no, us,
Oh, I don't know what you're saying. I'm so sorry.
us, our
How
commission,
connected are we
yes, to them,
to the people that put the playground together?
to the people who are complaining about it now, which is a lot of
Oh,
kids with disabilities who are like, is the only.
right. How connected are, I mean, I've reached out to the people that made went to city council. They never answered me, that complained. I mean, because those are the only ones I know, those 3 kids and 1 mom. So I reached out to them, but
3 kids, which 3 kids and 1.
I mean, I could send you the info, but I thought, did you watch the video at all? Or no? It was like a 6-minute little video.
I've watched city council and school committee
Right.
meetings,
That's the video.
and it struck me that these are kids who are like 11, 8
Right,
years old.
right. I have
trying
no,
to-
I don't know.
Trying to navigate that bloody structure.
Right. There's no way for me to know how to get a hold of them because they're kids, so I can't look into that really. But the adult, Sarah Amosa, I wrote to her like several times. I haven't heard back.
Talk later.
So, okay.
I think I have more.
Go ahead. You're sharing the screen?
Still there, Paul?
Yep.
Okay, good. We can still hear you. Yeah, go ahead and share your screen. It's the button next to the smiley face. And then you have to pick.
Oh, you're most welcome. Listen, you didn't get to say that.
Hi, Angela.
Okay. So, all right. Here. So now we have a 52 minutes.
Yes. Paul, do I need to give you
Permission.
permission or something to do that?
Let me try here.
Thanks for doing this. You know what happened to Dylan?
Oh, there it goes.
How is this?
Yep, that's good, Paul.
Okay. So this was our initial concept that we brought to the public.
Or wait a minute, bigger.
Nothing anymore.
Make it like the whole screen, no, because that's tiny.
See. No, I don't know how to do that.
That's as big as we can make it. I'm not sure if we can make our faces disappear and make that.
Little button.
What?
There was a button right here. This thingy.
What's this? Oh,
That's-
Zoom. Let's see.
Zoom in a little
Oh,
bit.
I can zoom it in, but then it loses, right, then you can't see the whole
Parts of
thing.
it. Yeah. We'll have to go maybe back in and out a little bit, depending on what you're talking about, maybe, if that's
Okay.
okay.
Sure.
That works.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So this was the initial concept that we developed to bring to the public for input. And it took into account the initial input that we got. All of the walkways were less than 5%, so they were all accessible. We tried to make a loop path system through the playground, so that if kids wanted to ride their bikes or skateboards or whatever, they could do that. We provided a sitting area, circular sitting area on the lower
Bottom
left.
left corner, that sort of white semicircle.
Yep.
Oh.
And we incorporated benches and circular tables with chairs that would also allow for spaces for wheelchairs to pull up. We provided benches with armrests to help people be able to lift themselves out of the benches.
Do you have a way to point to what you're talking about or no?
Can you see the cursor at all?
Yes.
Okay. So this was the circular kind of area, sitting area. It's a concrete paver patio.
Okay.
This has the tables that allow wheelchairs to roll up. Then throughout the park, we had various benches with the armrest to be able to lift yourself up easier out of the bench. All of the circular walkways that went around, actually the very northern portion got redesigned so that it was a true loop path around all the playground equipment. We installed a small amphitheater. If anybody ever wanted to sit and read books to children or things like that. We also installed, it doesn't show here because we developed this farther, but it was a just kind of not a sandbox, but a small area with pea stone for children to play in. So then we gave the equipment company the square footage of the center play equipment area. So that ended up being, I think it was 3,600 square feet. And from that, they produced, let's see.
That's that dark green sort of semicircle shape was the playground area. Those the
Yes, in the center here.
or that we could fit playground equipment on.
So can you see that? Did this pop up
Yep.
for you guys? Okay. So this was the concept that we eventually agreed on from Emmy O'Brien and Son. And it basically showed the layout of all the equipment. This circular down here in the lower left corner is the accessible spinner. And the red lines are the fall zones, which are basically set up depending on the fall height of the equipment that's used. The thickness of that surface varies. So what we again, we had an area for, I can't remember what the age groups were, but this was younger children to the north, and then another area for older kids that were a little older. So this was the final design that was settled upon. And then we looked at different surfaces. So this was an example of what we started to look at. There's wood chip surfaces. They had turf mat surfaces. We ended up going with a poured in place rubber surface. There's also a lot of, lately there has been concern about the rubber surfaces, and people are also looking at something called cork green. Is that right, Jason? Cork.
Yeah, I think that's what we're using at the new Fort River School. There were concerns about the recycled rubber used in the rubber surfacing having chemicals, including, PFAS, which is, I don't know how true or not it is, but the Corcoran surface is supposedly 100% natural, although it uses some chemicals.
Isn't it hard to wheel over it though?
Yeah, they're pretty much identical, actually, as far as like they're little squishy, but you can wheel over it.
Yeah. But again, there's a big price difference in the different various surfaces.
Right.
And there's also different maintenance costs associated with the surfaces.
Mm-hmm.
We have about 2 minutes left. Is there?
Okay. Actually, I thought I had. I'll just quickly run through some photos. Can you guys see these photos?
Not yet.
No. Okay.
Hasn't changed from the previous.
I see a photo of a slide.
Yeah.
No.
She's
Okay.
trying to show photos of the actual park. Actually, you had those open on my screen, didn't you? Or did we shut them down?
Yeah, they were open on your screen.
I can't find them. Oh, here we go.
Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing.
Oh no, this is photo repairs. Spring work, play equipment repairs. Here we go. Let me see. Here we go. I'm just gonna do that, and I'm gonna share my screen real quickly. Windows. I'm not used to the Google Meet platform as much as I am to the Zoom. Here we go.
No, there you go.
So here is the little amphitheater, and you can see that this path in the back is fully accessible, and this path in the front is also fully accessible. So you can make a full loop around, and we just sprinkled with little granite features here and there. The kids love playing up around and all the way, all over this place. Let me just go to the next. Oh, this is some of the construction. We used some natural stones just from construction sites we found around town to sort of decorate the place. You can see right here is the spinner, the handicap accessible spinner. I wish you could see the opening in the door, but you can wheel right into that. That's actually this was before the rubberized surface went in, so there's still a lip. But once they put the rubber surface in, that was completely flush to grade. So these are just some of the during construction areas. We did a little plaza here this ended up with some benches here. And it's just good places for the parents to sit while the kids are over playing. A lot of granite went in. Here's some of I'm trying to remember which one's which. This is for younger ages to the left here, and this one's for slightly older children. There's little climbing walls, all sorts of different climbers and slides. That's just another one of the slides. Here's some more during construction. Oh, that was a good shot. Actually, let me go back one. That's a pretty good shot of the handicap spinner. So you've got seats on two sides and then bare wall on this side that I think you can clamp a wheelchair to. So you can wheel right in and play with the other kids and be part of the scene. Here's the main entrance coming in. This is, again, before everything was finished. This was just sort of during construction. There's a couple of little seat spinners here. Some of these are just repetitive. That's just some drainage work.
Yeah, if you go, you may be able to go faster to get to the surfaces.
Okay. Oh, this is starting to get finished. Oh, is that the rubberized? No. That's for the pavers. There's the gravel base. There's some of the paved surfaces. Sorry, I'm trying to wrap this
Yeah.
up. So you guys,
Actually, well, Jason's just flipping through those. I just probably wanted to get this in. One thing to consider when you're going about this project is that, again, material costs are going up. That also maintenance and money for future maintenance. That's a big issue with us, is that, it's obviously ongoing maintenance, and there needs to be funds set aside to continue the ongoing maintenance. That's just something that I think is important to consider whenever you're building something for the public.
oh, so here's the rubberized surface going in. So you can see they just mix it by the wheelbarrow load and sort of spread it out, and they hand compact it as it's going in, and that provides all your fall protection. This was the sub base for the rubberized surface, and then that's the finished top. There, and then that's finished. We went with a light tan, and that's another thing to consider, is avoiding dark colors in high sunny spots, because the dark colors can get really hot. We did this black to match the sidewalk, but realized afterwards that it does get hot, and if kids are playing barefoot, it might, they're not going to get scalded or anything, but it's uncomfortable.
Yeah, the equipment companies also have shade structures, various shade structures to select to, because shade should definitely be a part of this.
Yeah. And that's one of the things we did with this, is try to design around the existing giant trees that were in the park. And that made it, this is back to the beginning again. I think I'll end on one of these. There we go. Yeah, you can see this is the seating area behind this little tree. That's where a lot of the parents like to hang out, have lunch, watch the kids play. And I don't know, I guess that's the bulk of our presentation. We didn't really have anything fully planned, so I apologize if it was a little scattered, but.
Brilliant. Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate you guys coming on such short notice too.
No problem. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
We'll talk another time, guys. Thanks.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Have a good day.
So we'll just go through our agenda real quick. So if somebody could make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll make that motion.
Get somebody second? Does anybody have any problems with the minutes? Nope. So everybody say aye. We got it.
Aye.
Right, we're good. Okay, so the only thing that we really definitely have to talk about is the Disability Pride Awareness Month. That's July. Eli and I met with she's the chair for Northampton. Amy?
So, yeah.
Yeah,
The chair.
chair for the Northampton Commission on Disability. We showed her the movie that I sent to you guys, the short little clip. And she looked into it. I don't know that she watched the whole thing. I was unclear about that, but so what we needed to do to be part of that is to find a location. And so I did. I spoke to the Marigold. So the Marigold said that we could use their space for free, and they have a screen that comes down. I suggested that we had some tables there from local places that deal with disabilities. So that's something that we all can make a list of. Like I spoke to Safe Passage because I volunteer there to have their disability advocate come over. So Safe Passage is a domestic violence place. We probably ask the Council on Aging to have their little table there, and Riverside, and I don't know if you guys wanna.
Yeah.
Maybe we
Pathlight is now part of ServiceNet, so
Okay.
I would think I can't say for sure, but I would think that ServiceNet would like to be a part of that.
Okay, and so I'm just double checking with the guy, Glenn, who owns the Marigold to see what kind of tables he already has, doesn't have. We're looking at July 5th because we also met with the mayor, so to get approval to do the project, and she suggested the first art walk. So, because people will be out and about, but then she also, so that's July 5th, but then she expressed concern that she's wondering if it'll be changed because that's a holiday weekend to maybe the following. So that's up in the air. And so, what will happen is once we get all the information, Northampton will make the flyer. I talked about making the Facebook event because Northampton and Amherst, to my knowledge, don't have a Commission on Disability event, so you can help me make some posts about that.
Sure.
The mayor said that she would put the word out, of course, about the event, and then the mayor likes to have snacks at events, which I love that. Come on, we gotta have a little snickety snacks, some great something. So hopefully she'll go for that, since we don't have a budget at all. So it'll come from wherever she said that magical, right, the pot of money is that we can sometimes have access to. So,
Can I ask?
Yep.
We're talking about Pride Month.
Disability Pride Month,
This is, okay, great.
which is July, not, yeah.
Okay, being celebrated here at the Marigold Theater,
Correct.
right, which I.
So for
exactly.
us, so the other towns, you would have to go to them to see their movies wherever they end up being. Yes.
First thing I have a chance of getting to visibly. And the provisional date is July 5.
Yep.
And do you know if that falls apart because of the obvious July 4th weekend?
Do I know if it what?
It might not be that because of the
Right.
July 4th
It might be
weekend.
Right, that's what we were,
Yes.
yeah, that's what we were saying, yeah.
So it would default the whole
So the-
thing to.
Following weekend. Yeah,
July.
so the
we-
following weekend, yeah.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
so we just have to make sure it's not in the same day as Amherst or Northampton. And the movie time, I suggest, because so that families can come, it would, I don't know, maybe 2 to 4, 3 to 6, I don't know, somewhere in that range, we'll figure it out.
I did an event in Easthampton once and asked Big E's if they would donate some
Donate?
food.
I thought about them.
Yeah, they did. I think, if we're gonna do that, we should ask them early enough so that we can put them on
Right,
materials as a sponsor.
that's true. I don't know that we're having, like, you mean on the flyer?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I thought you meant more materials I got.
What about-
No, but I'm always happy to, that's what I can do,
That's
so
your, yeah.
I'm happy to make that stuff.
Where did I just? Where did the agenda go? What else were we gonna talk about? Disappeared on me.
Can I just say something about the Facebook?
Please.
So,
yes.
I have been working with Angelique to be posting more on Facebook. My goal, which I haven't even told you, Angelique, is that I'd like to post once a week to get started. Facebook is weird right now because of everything that's happening politically but I've started. So if anybody is on Facebook and if you're following the Commission on Disability, it would help our algorithm if you would like our posts.
Is that a group?
Yep, it's the commission, it's the Easthampton Commission on Disability.
Mhm.
It's a page.
Yeah, it's a page. Sorry.
Yeah, but it's in the group category.
I don't think
No,
it's
no,
not a group, it's a
no.
page.
Yeah. So you don't join it, you just look at it.
And you follow it,
Right.
Follow.
So say it again, Easthampton what?
Commission on Disability.
I can send it to you. Because it's under my Facebook account, so. So we spoke to the mayor about the accessibility. Oh wait, did you have anything more to share on that? About the accessibility ordinance, because we lost both city councilors that were helping us. And then I also spoke to the mayor about how, we had a lot of projects in the works with Jeff Bagg, the city planner, was here. And then when he took off, I think he sort of, he's got a lot on his plate always, but he didn't really transition anybody, right? So like Dylan sort of halfway taking over, Jamie sort of, I don't know, but they just dropped the ball. So any progress we were making on anything, like the PTSD panel, the snow removal PSA. So I just try to say like, hey, everything we try, like just, there ends up being a transition, and then the people that are helping us are no longer there. So, yep.
Jeff Bragg.
Bragg.
Pretty well.
Bragg. Is this a different person? Jeff Bragg?
No, the former city planner.
Bragg. Okay. Yes.
Yes. He turned up lost within the last week, I think.
Turned up lost?
No, he turned up in person within the last week for some city council meeting that I believe he was interested in. It would have been connected with Parks and Rec.
Yep.
And he was concerned about his own home, literally.
Okay. You mean in terms of getting a hold of him?
Sorry?
So do you mean in terms of me getting a hold of him? Or what are you saying? So before he left, he needed to train whoever else, but he didn't do that on the stuff that we were doing, the projects we were in the middle of that he was helping us with, but I'm sure he had a lot going on, and so he didn't do that, right? So we would have to start from square one, making a public service announcement, because that's an older one that we made. We're in the middle of making a new one. So there's nothing I could do now. That would be unfair to ask him in his private time to come train somebody, since he's no longer in the position he's in.
In terms of, have we made any connections with Connie Denham?
Yes. Yep.
That's the only useful person.
Okay. I'm not speaking for me. Okay. All right. Yeah. So, that is one person that is aware. And then Brad Riley is aware about the accessibility ordinance stuff. Stan, do you have any current events that we should know about?
Well, the only thing that I have is something we should all be aware of, and that is that with the closing of the federal education office, we're going to be losing a ton of money that normally would go to helping disability students.
You're excited about it?
He's just excited that we're talking about it.
Yeah, some common sense in Easthampton.
Got it.
Oh, Sam.
And I just wanted to make sure everyone was aware of that, and, speak to your, government people, the federal people, if you're in touch with any of them, and just, encourage them to not cut those funds off.
You don't happen to have, like, in your reading, you don't have to have like an exact email address or anything, do you?
No, I did not.
I probably have as many emails, and
Okay.
I follow what you're trying to say. A lot of it, I would say, is hopeless. This country now has a fascist government.
I agree.
Okay. And it's going to impact even little Easthampton out in western Massachusetts, not particularly important to anybody in the State House, but sooner or later it's going to impact us as well. And I guess as the Commissioner on Disability, I think we would have to just retrench and make the most of whatever assets, people, successes we've already had.
it's a do-it-yourself project, I think.
Sorry?
I think what you're leading into is that we have to take care of the business ourselves. Don't try to rely on outside help. Okay?
Yeah,
So
totally.
that could be a push from all of us that we're here. I don't mean just the committee, but the population. We're here to take care of each other. Okay, and not let all the negatives be our destiny.
If there's something that you guys want on the agenda, you just let me know. We just can't talk about stuff that's not on the agenda. So he can do an update and tell us like about it, but to discuss it, it has to be on the agenda. So.
Wait a moment.
Got it. So next one is, as always, still recruiting new members. So if you know anybody, send them over because thought we had 4 openings. I thought there was another person joining. Did you say there was somebody joining? And then Stan, you wrote to me about somebody joining.
Right.
I think my last attempt was Mary Harris.
Are you gonna do
Okay.
this?
I'm interested in supporting, so perhaps.
Specialist you already are. Whatever his name is, comics, the comic shop guy just up the road.
I don't know his name. There was a Jim Hass. But
Okay,
I don't know if that's
I'll
him, but-
pursue him.
And so World Disability Day is December 3rd. Let's see how July goes when we do the movie thing, because that'll be almost like a practice run. So we can see if we can actually put anything together for this year for December 3rd. And if you have any future speaker ideas or requests, send them my way, because, I am not the boss of everything. So if there's people you want to hear from, please let me know. The next meeting is April 10th. And then is there any other new business or anything that we desperately need to speak about?
The tour of Riverside.
Thank you. That's why I hired you. Yeah, so the tour of Riverside will be next month, most likely. It's probably going to be after the meeting. I don't know why I thought you had stuff after this meeting.
Because I used to.
Oh, you used to. Okay.
The schedule changed.
So it'll probably be like a half-hour tour after this meeting. So we'll just walk over. I don't know that it's longer than a half hour. The mayor's probably going to join us just for funsies because she hasn't been over there in a long time. Which is obviously, if you have questions for her, you can chat her up while we're walking around. So more on that, I'll let you know. Yeah, is there anything else?
I can't think of anything.
You make any other phone calls? No. The only other thing would be I kept reaching out to the Council on Aging. They didn't answer me about if they would be in charge of the list of like people that do snow plowing or shoveling.
I don't believe they have one.
No. So
Right.
we were creating a list by getting, like the names of students, but I can't be in charge of that, right? So the public can't be calling Angelique's phone number. Hey, do you have that? Right? So the school wouldn't give me any names of any kids until I have an agency that instead of them calling me, they could call the Council on Aging or something. And then they would say, oh yes, I have this list. Like, here's some phone numbers. So I'm just a mom, so they don't want me in charge of the list of people's phone numbers. I mean,
I wonder if
I
the
would probably
community
give you-
center,
say it again.
it might be good to reach out to Robin at the.
Oh God, no,
community
she has so
center.
much on her
But
plate.
maybe she
I don't
has an
wanna-
idea of someone.
Oh, I did ask her, and
Oh,
she
yeah.
also said the Council on Aging. So, and I left a couple messages, but I haven't heard back. But
Okay, I could probably already have what this,
She's thinking of leaving.
the COA has.
okay,
Yeah,
You might
yeah,
have
well,
to-
well deserved.
Yeah,
all
You
right.
could short circuit all that.
succession's a problem.
What do you mean short circuit? The list?
And that's what always happens. The person who does the stuff has to do.
COA,
3 people job.
Go back.
Yep.
does not surprise me.
Right, so what are you saying is gonna happen?
In terms, I have a copy of their current list of snow plowers, snow.
Right, but you can't be in charge of it.
I can hand it over,
You mean to them, give it to them?
give it to you. You're my best
Yeah.
contact here.
Okay, give it to me and then I'll take a look at it, update it,
And then,
but, okay. Awesome. All right, so we're gonna do, bye-bye. Right, so is there anything else?
Yes, one item on the agenda today was, the disability ordinance.
We talked about that.
Sorry,
We did chat about that.
but have we made any progress on that? Have we reached out to the new, chairman of our city council?
So Brad O'Reilly and Connie are the ones that are chitter chattering about how that's
Okay.
gonna go. But what I had shared with them is like, there's all this information that Omar and Owen had that we don't necessarily know because they were working by, so like, they need to connect them because we don't, because they kept saying, oh, we're speaking to someone in Boston. Oh, we're speaking to some, okay, well, I don't have those notes or anything, so.
But is it possible that they have been passed down to the new chairman of the?
No, they haven't yet, but so that's what I'm
Okay.
working on, is to make sure that they look into that and have that happen.
Okay,
And thank you for coming. This is such a nice surprise.
You're welcome. Thank you for letting me sit in. And, you know, please, again, I'm here to try and help with anything. So I've been
Okay.
taking a bunch of notes.
Okay,
If there are ways I can connect to existing issues like the disability ordinance, or connecting you with the planning department, or, you know, with Jeff Bagg having
Right.
left and Jamie having left, anything around that, please use me as a resource.
and
So-
did you want to introduce yourself for the people that came?
Yeah,
in?
yes, that's what I was gonna ask.
Sure, no problem. So my name is Felicia Jadzak. I'm one of the new city councilors here in Easthampton. I'm also disabled, so I have a personal interest, and in my role, I'm really looking to figure out how can I help support with anything that you all are working on. So I just wanted to introduce myself, come hear what you're talking about, and just offer myself up as a resource.
It's nice to meet you. I'm Leslie Tate.
Nice to meet you. I got your card.
All right, so meeting adjourned. Thank you all.
This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.